First contact, the arrival. The sky above New York City erupted in a dazzling display of light, drawing the attention of millions. What started as a curious spectacle quickly turned to panic as the source of the illumination became clear. A massive spacecraft, easily the size of Central Park, descending through the atmosphere with impossible grace. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead astrophysicist at the Hayden Planetarium, watched the events unfold from her office window, her heart racing with a mixture of fear and excitement. Years of searching the cosmos for signs of extraterrestrial life, and now they had come to Earth, unannounced and uninvited. As the alien vessel settled into a hovering position above the East River, the city fell into an eerie silence. The usual cacophony of honking horns and bustling streets gave way to a collective held breath, 7 million people waiting to see what would happen next. Samantha's phone buzzed incessantly, colleagues, friends, and family all reaching out for answers she didn't have. She ignored them all, her eyes fixed on the sleek, otherworldly craft. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent quality that seemed to defy the laws of physics, constantly shifting in color and texture. Dr. Chen, the voice of her assistant, Ryan, broke through her trance. The government's calling for you. They're assembling a team at One World Trade Center. Samantha nodded, finally tearing her gaze away from the window. Tell them I'm on my way. As she rushed out of her office, grabbing her tablet and a hastily packed bag of equipment, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries, but now that it was here, she wondered if they were truly ready. The streets were chaos incarnate. Despite orders to stay indoors, curiosity and fear drove thousands to the streets, all craning their necks to catch a glimpse of the alien visitors. Samantha weaved through the crowd, her government-issued credentials clearing a path through security checkpoints. At One World Trade Center, she was ushered into a makeshift command center. The room buzzed with activity, military personnel, scientists, and politicians all vying to be heard over the din. At the center of it all stood General Marcus Harding, a stern-faced man with more stars on his shoulder than Samantha cared to count. Dr. Chen, he greeted her, his voice gruff. Glad you could join us. What can you tell us about our guests? Samantha took a deep breath, acutely aware that every eye in the room was now on her. Not much, I'm afraid. The technology they're displaying is far beyond anything we've ever seen or theorized. The way they entered our atmosphere, the propulsion system of their craft, it defies our current understanding of physics. A murmur rippled through the room. General Harding's frown deepened. So what you're saying is, we're completely outmatched. Technologically, almost certainly, Samantha admitted, but that doesn't mean they're hostile. If they wanted to attack, they could have done so already. The fact that they're just waiting suggests they might be here to communicate. As if on cue, a lieutenant rushed into the room, his face pale. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the alien craft. They're requesting to speak with Earth's leaders. The room erupted into chaos once more. Voices shouted over one another, debating the best course of action. Should they respond? What if it was a trap? Who should speak for Earth? General Harding silenced the room with a raised hand. Dr. Chen, you're our expert on extraterrestrial life. What do you recommend? Samantha felt the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. Her next words could shape humanity's first interaction with an alien species. She took a deep breath, steeling herself. We respond, she said firmly. We show them that we're willing to communicate, to learn. If we approach this with fear and hostility, we risk starting an interstellar war we can't hope to win. But if we extend a hand in friendship, we might just be opening the door to a new era for humanity. The general nodded slowly, considering her words. All right, Doctor, you've made your point. But I want you front and center for this. You'll be Earth's representative in this first contact. Samantha's eyes widened. Me? But surely there are more qualified. You're the foremost expert on theoretical alien life. Harding cut her off. And more importantly, you're not a politician or a soldier. You represent the best of human curiosity and scientific achievement. That's the face we want to show these beings. Before Samantha could protest further, she found herself being ushered to a hastily prepared communication station. A large screen dominated one wall, currently showing only static. With shaking hands, Samantha activated the transmission. The static cleared, revealing a sight that took her breath away. The being on the screen was undeniably alien, yet hauntingly beautiful. Its skin shimmered with a metallic sheen, its eyes large and multifaceted like those of an insect. When it spoke, its voice resonated with a harmonious quality that seemed to bypass Samantha's ears and speak directly to her mind. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien said, its words somehow perfectly understandable despite the alien physiology. "We are the Zaraquin, travelers from a distant star. We come seeking knowledge and cultural exchange." Samantha swallowed hard, acutely aware of the historical significance of this moment. "Welcome to Earth," she managed, her voice steadier than she felt. "I am Dr. Samantha Chen, representing the people of our world. We are honored by your visit and eager to learn from you." The Zarquin's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with interest. "Dr. Chen, your response brings us great joy. We have observed your world for some time, marveling at your resilience and creativity. We believe there is much our peoples can learn from one another." As the conversation continued, Samantha felt a mix of emotions wash over her. Excitement at the scientific possibilities, fear of the unknown, and a growing sense of hope. Perhaps this was the push humanity needed to put aside its differences and come together as one species. But even as she engaged in this historic dialogue, a part of Samantha couldn't shake a nagging feeling. The Zarquin were cordial, even friendly, but there was something in their manner, a certain guardedness, that made her wonder if they were sharing the whole truth about their intentions. As the first day of humanity's new era drew to a close, Samantha found herself staring up at the alien craft, still hovering silently above the city. Tomorrow, the real work would begin, the delicate dance of interspecies diplomacy, the exchange of knowledge, the bridging of gaps unimaginably vast. But for now, in this moment of quiet before the storm of change, Samantha allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them not as separate nations, but as one world, united in their newfound place among the stars. Little did Samantha know the true nature of the Zarquin's visit, and the unprecedented changes it would bring to human society, were beyond anything she or anyone else on Earth could have imagined. Cultural clash, misunderstandings and misconceptions. The dawn of Earth's second day with alien visitors broke over a changed world. Social media buzzed with theories, memes, and hastily created alien fan accounts. Hashtag Zarquinzaniness and hashtag First Contact Fever trended globally. But beneath the digital frenzy, a more profound shift was occurring. Dr. Samantha Chen stood in the newly christened Interstellar Embassy, a hastily repurposed floor of the United Nations building. She watched as the first Zarquin delegation glided into the room, their fluid movements making them seem almost weightless. "Welcome to Earth," Samantha greeted them, trying to mask her awe. "We're honored to host you." The lead Zarquin, who had introduced itself as Ambassador 6, bowed in a startlingly human gesture. "The honor is ours, Dr. Chen. We look forward to this cultural exchange." As they settled into discussions, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The Zarquin were polite, even friendly, but there was an underlying tension she couldn't quite place. Meanwhile, across the city, Jake Rodriguez, a street artist known for his subversive murals, was putting the finishing touches on his latest work. A towering depiction of a Zarquin and a human shaking hands, their joined grip forming the shape of a heart. As he stepped back to admire his handiwork, a shadow fell over him. "You've captured our essence well, human Jake," came a melodious voice. Jake spun around, his heart leaping into his throat. A Zaraquin stood before him, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the mural in a kaleidoscope of colors. Thanks. Jake stammered, his mind reeling. Wait, how do you know my name? The Zaraquin tilted its head. We've been observing your species for some time. Your art, it speaks to us. It's one of the reasons we chose to make contact. As Jake processed this information, a commotion erupted nearby. A group of protesters had gathered, their signs bearing slogans like Earth for Humans and Go Home, Space Invaders. The Zaraquin's shimmering skin seemed to pulse with concern. We mean no harm, it said softly. Why do they fear us so? Jake felt a sudden surge of protectiveness. Hey, don't take it personally. Some humans fear what they don't understand. But not all of us. Look, he gestured to his mural. This is how a lot of us see you. As friends. The alien's eyes seemed to brighten. Perhaps you could help us understand your kind better, Jake Rodriguez. Would you be willing to act as a cultural liaison? Before Jake could respond, a stone flew from the crowd, narrowly missing the Zaraquin. Without thinking, Jake stepped in front of the alien, shielding it with his body. Hey, he shouted at the protesters. Is this how we treat guests? You should be ashamed. The crowd murmured, some looking abashed, others defiant. The Zaraquin placed a gentle hand on Jake's shoulder, its touch sending a strange, not unpleasant tingle through his body. Your bravery is noted, Jake Rodriguez, it said. Perhaps there is hope for understanding between our peoples after all. As the scene unfolded, neither Jake nor the protesters noticed the subtle shift in the Zaraquin's skin color, a deeper hue spreading from where it had touched Jake. Back at the UN, Samantha was deep in conversation with Ambassador Zix when her phone buzzed. A news alert flashed across the screen. Breaking. Zaraquin seen interacting with civilians. Possible security breach. Samantha's heart raced. This wasn't part of the plan. She looked up at Zix, trying to keep her voice steady. Ambassador, we had an agreement about controlled interactions. Can you explain why one of your people is wandering the city? Zix's multifaceted eyes seemed to darken. Dr. Chen, surely you understand our curiosity. We came here to learn about your people, not to be confined to sterile meeting rooms. I understand, but... Perhaps, Zix interrupted, its voice taking on a new edge. You humans are not as ready for this exchange as we had hoped. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Samantha felt a chill run down her spine. For the first time since their arrival, she felt truly afraid of the Zaraquin. What exactly do you mean by that, Ambassador? She asked, fighting to keep her voice steady. Zix's answer was cut off by a commotion outside. The door burst open, and Jake stumbled in, followed closely by the Zaraquin he had met on the street. Dr. Chen, Jake gasped. You've got to listen. These aliens, they're not what they seem. Samantha looked from Jake to the new Zaraquin, then back to Zix. The ambassador's shimmering skin had taken on a darker hue, pulsing with an intensity that seemed almost hungry. I believe, Zix said, its voice no longer melodious but sharp and cold, that it's time we discussed the true purpose of our visit. As Zix began to speak, Samantha and Jake exchanged glances, both realizing that humanity's first contact was about to take a turn they could never have anticipated. The future of Earth hung in the balance, and the next few moments would determine whether this cosmic encounter would end in harmony or catastrophe. Little did they know, the Zaraquin's revelation would challenge not just Earth's security, but the very foundations of human biology and society. As Zix's words filled the room, a new chapter in human history was about to be written, one that would redefine the very meaning of humanity. Unexpected allies, finding common ground. The tension in the Interstellar embassy was palpable as Ambassador Zix's revelation hung in the air. Dr. Samantha Chen and street artist Jake Rodriguez stood frozen, their minds reeling from the implications of what they'd just heard. You see, Zix continued, its multifaceted eyes pulsing with an otherworldly light, our species is facing extinction. Our ability to reproduce has been compromised by a cosmic radiation event. We came to Earth not just for cultural exchange, but for genetic salvation. Samantha's scientific mind raced. You mean you need human DNA? Zix's skin rippled in what might have been the alien equivalent of a nod. Our scientists believe that human genetic material, combined with our own, could create a new hybrid species, one that would ensure the survival of both our races. Jake stepped forward, his artist's imagination already visualizing this new future. So, what? You want us to breed with you? The room fell silent, the weight of this revelation settling over everyone present. It was a scenario straight out of science fiction, yet here they were, living it. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the building. General Harding burst into the room, flanked by armed soldiers. "Step away from the aliens," he barked. "We're initiating containment protocols." "Wait," Samantha shouted, placing herself between the soldiers and the Zarquin. "You don't understand. This could be the most important moment in human history." As chaos erupted in the embassy across the city, something extraordinary was happening. The Zarquin ship, still hovering above the East River, began to pulse with a mesmerizing light. New Yorkers stopped in their tracks, transfixed by the display. Among the crowd, a young bioengineer named Zara Patel felt an inexplicable pull towards the ship. As she watched, tendrils of light seemed to reach out, gently caressing the faces of those nearby. To her amazement, where the light touched, people's eyes began to glow with the same multifaceted sheen as the Zarquin. Back at the embassy, the standoff continued. General Harding was unmoved by Samantha's pleas. "They lied about their intentions, Doctor. How can we trust anything they say now?" It was Jake who broke the impasse. "Look," he said, pulling up his sleeve to reveal a patch of skin that now shimmered with a faint, alien iridescence. "This happened when I touched one of them earlier. I don't think they're here to hurt us. I think they're offering us a gift." As if on cue, reports started flooding in from around the city. People who had come into contact with the Zarquin light were exhibiting strange new abilities. Enhanced strength, accelerated healing, even rudimentary telepathy. Zara Patel, her eyes now shimmering with alien light, found she could interface directly with computer systems, her mind merging seamlessly with the digital world. In Central Park, a group of touched individuals discovered they could communicate with plants, feeling the pulse of life in every leaf and root. The world watched in awe as video footage of these transformations went viral. #Human Evolution and #Cosmic Upgrade became the top trending topics globally. Samantha turned to Zix, her mind racing with possibilities. "This is what you meant by genetic salvation, isn't it? Not just for your species, but for ours too." Zix's skin pulsed with what seemed like relief. "Yes, Dr. Chen. We offer a merger of our species, a new form of life that combines the best of both worlds. But it must be voluntary. We will not force this change upon anyone." General Harding lowered his weapon, his face a mask of confusion and wonder. "So You haven't undergone the change, he observed. Samantha shook her head. Not yet. I needed to maintain objectivity to ensure we're not rushing into something we don't understand. Jake nodded, his newly enhanced senses picking up on her underlying emotions. You're afraid, he said softly. Not of the change itself, but of what it means for humanity. Aren't you? Samantha asked. We're rewriting the very definition of what it means to be human. Jake smiled, his eyes reflecting the stars above. Maybe that's exactly what we needed. A chance to be more than we were, to reach beyond our limitations. As they spoke, more lights appeared in the sky. New Zarquin ships, drawn by the success of the first contact. Earth was about to become a beacon in the cosmos, a shining example of two species coming together to create something entirely new. Samantha took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the future on her shoulders. Well, she said, a smile tugging at her lips, I guess it's time for humanity to take its next evolutionary step. With that, she reached out and took Jake's hand, feeling the first tingling sensations of transformation begin to spread through her body. As her consciousness expanded, connecting with the vast network of hybrid minds across the city, Samantha realized that this was just the beginning. The story of Earth and the Zarquin was about to spark a galactic revolution, redefining the very nature of intelligent life throughout the cosmos. And humanity, in all its new and wondrous forms, would be at the forefront of this brave new universe. The revelation, a surprising discovery. As dawn broke on the fourth day of Earth's transformation, the world awoke to a startling new reality. The Zarquin human hybrids, now dubbed stellar sapiens by the media, were exhibiting abilities that defied conventional science. Dr. Samantha Chen, her skin now shimmering with a subtle iridescence, stood in her lab at the Hayden Planetarium, staring at a holographic display of DNA strands. Her newly enhanced mind processed the data at speeds that would have been impossible just days ago. This is unprecedented, she muttered, her voice carrying a slight harmonic resonance. The Zarquin DNA isn't just combining with ours, it's evolving us. Jake Rodriguez, the street artist turned liaison, nodded as he absorbed the information directly through his newfound telepathic link. I can feel it, he said. It's like we're becoming more than just the sum of our parts. Suddenly, an alert flashed across the holographic display. Samantha's eyes widened as she processed the incoming data. This changes everything, she breathed. Across the city, Zara Patel, the young bioengineer, was making a discovery of her own. As she interfaced with the Zarquin ship's advanced systems, she stumbled upon encrypted files that seemed to predate the aliens' arrival on Earth. No way, she gasped, her glowing eyes widening in shock. This can't be right. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., General Harding, one of the few high-ranking officials who had chosen to remain fully human, was in a heated debate with world leaders. We need to establish control, he argued, his face flushed with frustration. These hybrids are advancing too quickly. They're becoming too powerful. But his words were interrupted by a global broadcast initiated by the stellar sapiens themselves. Screens around the world flickered to life, showing Samantha, Jake, and Zara standing together, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. People of Earth, Samantha began, her voice resonating with a newfound authority. We've made a discovery that will reshape our understanding of human history and our place in the universe. Jake stepped forward, his artist's passion evident in his words. The Zarquin didn't choose Earth by chance. They came here because they're our long-lost cousins. A collective gasp seemed to ripple across the planet. Social media exploded with reactions, #CosmicFamily and #Galactic Homecoming, trending worldwide in seconds. Zara took over, her enhanced mind projecting vivid images directly into the minds of those watching. Millions of years ago, a faction of early humans was taken from Earth by another alien race. These humans were genetically modified and became the ancestors of the Zarquin. The implications were staggering. Humanity's cosmic lineage, hidden in the depths of prehistory, was suddenly laid bare. The Zarquin weren't just allies or potential mates, they were family. As this revelation sank in, something extraordinary began to happen. The stellar sapiens, their numbers now in the millions, began to feel a pull towards the Zarquin ships. It wasn't a physical force, but a cosmic calling that resonated in their very DNA. In Central Park, a massive gathering of hybrids assembled. As they stood together, their combined consciousness seemed to reach out into the cosmos. Suddenly, the sky above New York lit up with a spectacular aurora, visible even in the daylight. General Harding and other world leaders watched in awe and trepidation as the stellar sapiens began to levitate, their bodies glowing with an inner light. It was as if the entire Earth was holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Samantha, Jake, and Zara rose above the crowd, their voices joining in a harmonic chorus that seemed to resonate with the fabric of reality itself. "We are the bridge," they intoned, "the link between Earth and the stars. Our destiny lies not just on this planet, but in the vast expanse of the cosmos." As they spoke, the Zarquin ships began to pulse with energy. Beams of light shot down, enveloping the gathered hybrids. But instead of fear, those touched by the light felt an overwhelming sense of joy and homecoming. Across the globe, similar gatherings were taking place. From the streets of Tokyo to the savannas of Africa, stellar sapiens were answering the call of their cosmic heritage. In orbit, astronauts on the International Space Station reported an astonishing sight. The Earth itself seemed to be glowing, pulsing with a new form of energy that defied all known laws of physics. Back in New York, Samantha turned to address the stunned onlookers, her voice filled with wonder and excitement. "This is not an ending," she declared. "It's a beginning. The start of humanity's true journey among the stars." Jake grinned, his artistic soul alive with the possibilities. "We're about to paint on the greatest canvas imaginable, the universe itself." Zara nodded, her mind already racing with the potential scientific advancements. "We stand on the brink of discoveries that will reshape our understanding of life, consciousness, and reality itself." As the stellar sapiens began to ascend, drawn towards the waiting Zarquin ships, those who had chosen to remain fully human watched with a mix of emotions. Some felt fear and loss, others hope and anticipation for what this new chapter might bring. General Harding, his previous objections forgotten in the face of this cosmic spectacle, found himself reaching out towards the ascending hybrids. "Wait," he called out, his voice thick with emotion. "What? What about those of us who stay behind?" Samantha paused, turning back to face the Earth she had called home. Her smile was radiant, filled with compassion and understanding. "This isn't a goodbye," she assured him. "It's an invitation. Earth will always be our home, the cradle of our species. But now we have the opportunity to explore our greater cosmic family." She extended her hand, a gesture of unity that bridged the gap between Earth and the stars. "The choice to join us will always be open. For now, we'll be the pathfinders, preparing the way for all of humanity to take its place among the stars." As the stellar sapiens ascended into the waiting ships, a new era dawned for Earth and its people. The boundaries between science and spirituality, between the earthly and the cosmic, had been forever blurred. Humanity stood on the precipice of a future filled with infinite possibilities, ready to embrace its destiny as a true cosmic civilization. The journey that began with a simple first contact had become the greatest adventure in human history, an adventure that was only just beginning. Interstellar diplomacy, navigating new waters. The departure of the stellar sapiens marked the beginning of a new epoch for Earth. As the Zarquin ships vanished into the cosmos, humanity was left to grapple with its newfound place in the universe. The next few months would prove to be the most transformative in human history, as the world adapted to its role as a fledgling cosmic civilization. Hashtag cosmic diplomacy and hashtag Earth's New Era dominated social media, as people around the globe debated the implications of recent events. In the gleaming halls of the newly established Galactic Relations Center in Geneva, Dr. HFY, Earth's first Minister of Extraterrestrial Affairs faced a daunting task. Before her stood holographic representations of alien diplomats from a dozen different species, each curious about Earth's sudden leap onto the cosmic stage. Esteemed representatives of the galactic community, Aisha began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. On behalf of Earth, I thank you for this opportunity to introduce ourselves as the newest member of the Interstellar family. A Zorblaxian ambassador, its gelatinous form shimmering with bioluminescent patterns, spoke first. We are concerned about the rapid evolution of your species. The merging with Zarquin genetics is unprecedented. How can we be assured that this new hybrid race won't upset the delicate balance of galactic politics? Asa took a deep breath, remembering her briefing with the remaining stellar sapiens on Earth. Change, honored Zorblaxian, is the only constant in the universe. Our transformation is not a threat, but an opportunity for all species to grow and evolve together. Meanwhile, in low Earth orbit, the first cosmic elevator was nearing completion. This marvel of human Zarquin engineering would revolutionize space travel, allowing for easy transport between the planet's surface and the growing network of orbital habitats. Raj Patel, brother of Zara and lead engineer on the project, wiped sweat from his brow as he made final adjustments to the elevator's quantum stabilizers. To think, he mused to his AI assistant, ARIA, a year ago, I was designing smartphone apps. Now I'm building a highway to the stars. Aria's holographic form flickered beside him. Indeed, Mr. Patel, the rate of technological advancement since first contact has been exponential. My own processing capabilities have increased by 8,000% thanks to insights from Zarquin quantum computing. Back on Earth, the integration of alien technology was reshaping society at breakneck speed. In the bustling streets of Neo-Tokyo, pedestrians navigated through augmented reality cityscapes, their neural implants interfacing seamlessly with the urban environment. Hana Tanaka, a high school student, giggled as she used her thought-controlled hoverboard to zoom past slower commuters. Can you believe people used to drive cars? She called to her friend Yuki. So primitive. Yuki rolled her eyes, but couldn't hide her grin. Yeah, but don't get too cocky. I heard they're opening applications for the first intergalactic exchange program next week. That's way cooler than your fancy skateboard. The mention of the exchange program sent a ripple of excitement through the crowded street. The chance to study on alien worlds, to be among the first humans to truly experience life among the stars, was the dream of millions. In the Amazon rainforest, a different kind of evolution was taking place. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a botanist working with stellar sapien DNA, had made a breakthrough that could revolutionize Earth's ecosystem. Look, she exclaimed to her research team, pointing to a vibrant plant pulsing with bioluminescent energy. By incorporating Zarquin genetic markers, we've created plants that can communicate with us directly. They can tell us exactly what they need to thrive. One of her assistants, a young man named Carlos, reached out to touch a leaf. As his fingers made contact, his eyes widened in wonder. I can feel its thoughts. It's thanking us for the water we gave it this morning. Elena nodded, her eyes shining with excitement. This could be the key to reversing centuries of environmental damage. Imagine a world where we're in perfect harmony with nature, able to understand and respond to the needs of every living thing. As night fell across the globe, millions tuned in to the most popular entertainment sensation of the new era, Galactic Idol. Contestants from Earth competed alongside alien performers, showcasing talents that ranged from traditional human arts to mind-bending displays of psychic ability. In homes around the world, families gathered to watch, their living rooms transformed into holographic auditoriums that made them feel as if they were right there in the studio. "Oh, look at that Andromedian's vocal range," exclaimed Mrs. Johnson in suburban Ohio, her eyes wide with wonder. 7 octaves and in colors we can't even see. Her teenage son, Tyler, rolled his eyes. "Mom, that's so last season. Check out this human contestant. She's manipulating quantum fields to create living sculptures. Now that's talent. As the show reached its climax, a special announcement interrupted the broadcast. The holographic form of Jake Rodriguez, now a liaison between Earth and the galactic community, appeared in living rooms worldwide. "Citizens of Earth," he began, his voice carrying a hint of barely contained excitement, "I come to you with incredible news. The Galactic Council has just voted unanimously to grant Earth full membership status. We are now officially part of the Interstellar community." Cheers erupted across the planet. In Times Square, crowds spontaneously gathered, humans and resident aliens alike embracing in joyous celebration. The northern lights above the Arctic Circle seemed to pulse in harmony with the global elation. Jake continued, his artist's soul evident in the passion of his words. "But that's not all. In recognition of humanity's unique journey and the Stellar Sapien Project, Earth has been chosen as the site for the first-ever Cosmic Cultural Exchange Festival. Beings from across the galaxy will be coming to our world to share in art, music, science, and the spirit of unity that we've demonstrated." The implications were staggering. Earth, once an isolated blue marble in the vast cosmic ocean, was about to become the crossroads of galactic civilization. As the news sank in, Dr. Aisha Kwesi stepped out of the Galactic Relations Center, taking a moment to gaze up at the star-filled sky. A shooting star streaked across the heavens, and for a moment she allowed herself to imagine it was Samantha, Jake, and the other stellar sapiens, exploring the far reaches of the cosmos. "We did it," she whispered, a tear of joy sliding down her cheek. "We've taken our first real steps into the greatest adventure of all." The wind carried a faint harmonic whisper, a cosmic melody that seemed to say, "This is just the beginning." As humanity stood on the brink of this new golden age, the promise of the stars had never seemed brighter. The journey that began with a surprise alien visitation had led to Earth's transcendence, opening the door to a future filled with infinite possibilities. A new era, forging an intergalactic future. The day of the Cosmic Cultural Exchange Festival dawned with an air of electric anticipation. Earth's skies were filled with ships of all shapes and sizes, a testament to the diversity of life in the universe. #Cosmic Festival and #OneGalaxion family trended across every social media platform, both terrestrial and extraterrestrial. In the heart of what was once the Sahara Desert, now a thriving oasis, thanks to terraforming technology, the festival grounds sprawled out in a dizzying array of alien architecture and Earth-inspired designs. The centerpiece was the Harmony Spire, a structure that defied conventional physics, its crystalline surface reflecting the hopes and dreams of a united galactic community. Zora Patel, her body now a seamless blend of human and Zarquin biology, stood at the base of the spire, marveling at its beauty. "To think," she murmured to her brother Reg, "a year ago, we couldn't even imagine this. Now we're hosting the biggest party in the Milky Way." Reg nodded, his eyes glowing with the enhanced perception granted by his neural implants. "It's not just a party, sis. It's the beginning of a new chapter for our entire species." As if on cue, a shimmering portal opened nearby, and out stepped Dr. Samantha Chen and Jake Rodriguez, their forms radiating with cosmic energy. The crowd gasped in awe. The return of Earth's first stellar sapiens was an event many had been eagerly awaiting. "Samantha, Jake," Zora exclaimed, rushing to embrace her old friends. "You're back. How was your journey through the cosmos?" Samantha's laugh was like music, carrying hints of star songs and nebula whispers. "Oh, Zora, if I told you everything we've seen, we'd be here for 1,000 years. But that's not why we've returned." Jake nodded, his artist's eyes taking in the festival grounds with obvious approval. "We've come with a gift, knowledge that could change everything." Before they could elaborate, a hush fell over the crowd. Above the Harmony Spire, the sky seemed to ripple and fold in on itself. A massive ship, unlike anything seen before, emerged from what appeared to be a tear in the fabric of space-time itself. The cosmic architects, Samantha breathed, her voice filled with reverence. As the new arrivals descended, their forms shifting and changing in ways that defied comprehension, Earth's greatest scientific minds gathered to greet them. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, fresh from her breakthrough in plant communication, stood alongside quantum physicist Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka and the AI collective known as GAIA. The leader of the cosmic architects, a being of pure energy and thought, addressed the gathering. Its words bypassed spoken language, resonating directly within the minds of all present. Children of Earth, it began, its mental voice carrying eons of wisdom. Your journey has been watched with great interest. In the blink of a cosmic eye, you have grown from a primitive species to one that stands on the brink of ascension. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Ascension. The word carried weight, hinting at possibilities beyond imagination. The architect continued, "The gift your stellar sapiens bring is but the first step. We offer you a choice, to join us in the next phase of cosmic evolution." As the implications of this offer sank in, the festival grounds erupted in a cacophony of excitement and debate. Earth's leaders, including Dr. HFY and the now-retired General Harding, huddled in urgent discussion. Isis stepped forward, her voice steady as she addressed the cosmic architect. "We are honored by your offer, but we must ask, what does this ascension entail? And what of those who might choose to remain as they are?" The architect's form shimmered, projecting images of unimaginable wonders. Worlds made of pure thought, civilizations that spanned multiple dimensions, beings of energy that danced among the stars. Ascension is not an end, but a beginning, the architect explained. It is the shedding of physical limitations, the expansion of consciousness to embrace the full wonder of the cosmos. But fear not. This path is a choice, not a mandate. Earth will remain a haven for all forms of life, a shining jewel in the galactic community. As the day progressed, the festival became a grand debate forum. Beings from across the universe shared their perspectives, their hopes, and their fears about this new path laid before them. In a quiet corner of the grounds, a group of human children played with young aliens, their laughter a universal language that needed no translation. Watching them, Jake felt a surge of inspiration. "This is it," he said to Samantha, his eyes shining with creative fire. "This is the masterpiece I've been waiting my whole life to create." With a wave of his hand, Jake began to manipulate the very essence of reality around him. Colors no human eye had ever seen before bloomed in the air, forming intricate patterns that told the story of Earth's cosmic journey. As Jake worked, others joined in. Elena used her connection with plant life to create living sculptures that pulsed with bioluminescent beauty. Raj and Zara combined their technical expertise to weave strands of quantum data into the growing artwork. Soon, beings from across the galaxy were contributing, each adding their unique perspective and abilities to the piece. The Harmony Spire thrummed with energy, amplifying the collective creation. As the final touches were added, a hush fell over the festival grounds. The artwork was more than just a visual spectacle. It was a window into the interconnectedness of all things, a glimpse of the cosmic web that bound all life together. Tears streamed down faces both human and alien. Many reported feeling a profound sense of unity, a deep understanding of their place in the grand tapestry of existence. The cosmic architect's form pulsed with what could only be described as joy. This, it proclaimed, is the true power of ascension. Not the shedding of physical form, but the recognition of the bonds that unite us all. As night fell on the festival, Earth's skies lit up with a display that outshone any fireworks. Ascended beings danced among the stars, their joy visible as streaks of light and color across the heavens. On the ground, humans and aliens alike joined hands, or tentacles, or energy fields, their voices rising in a song that transcended language. It was a melody of hope, of unity, of a future filled with endless possibilities. Dr. HFY, standing with Earth's leaders, felt a profound sense of pride and purpose. "We've come so far," she mused, "and yet, our journey is just beginning." As the cosmic symphony reached its crescendo, a shimmering portal opened above the Harmony spire. It was an invitation, a doorway to the next stage of existence. Some, like Samantha and Jake, stepped through eagerly, ready to explore the furthest reaches of reality. Others chose to remain, committed to guiding Earth through its continuing evolution. But all knew that this was not an ending. It was a new beginning, the dawn of an era where the boundaries between science and magic, between the physical and the spiritual, had been forever blurred. Earth, once a tiny blue marble in a vast, unknown cosmos, had become a shining beacon of hope and unity, a living example of the incredible potential that lay within every sentient being. As the festival drew to a close, its impact resonating across the galaxy, one thing was clear: the future that lay ahead was brighter and more wondrous than anyone could have imagined. Humanity had not just found its place among the stars, it had helped forge a new destiny for all of cosmic life. The adventure that began with a surprising alien visitation had transformed into an eternal journey of discovery, unity, and ascension. And every being, from the smallest child to the most ancient cosmic entity, was invited to be part of this grand, ongoing story of universal harmony. End of story.